Schalke are a fallen giant. One of Germany's biggest clubs are now fighting to remember who they are. The fans are hurting, the standards have dropped, and the glory days seem a long, long way away. But over the next 5 years, we're bringing Schalke back. This is the 5 year plan. Okay, viewers, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the 5 year plan series. Our next club we are rebuilding and hopefully leaving in a better place of where we find them is Schalke. We're still playing on the updated database on Championship Manager 0102. And as you can see, first day on the job, the board are expecting us to battle bravely against relegation this season. And that is relegation from the second tier in Germany. You see there's some fairly big clubs here. The likes of Nuremberg, Kaiserslautern there, Hertha, Hanover, Dresden. It's not going to be as easy as maybe we think to get ourselves out of this division. Looks to me like the top team, I think the top team go up. I think second and third have to play some sort of playoff, I'd imagine. But yeah, that is where we find ourselves. And one of the reasons I took Schalke for this one is because, like I say, they're a massive club. And first look at the squad, they've got some recognisable players in there. For me, obviously, Loris Karius is ex-Liverpool goalkeeper. He was at Newcastle for a couple of seasons. Besiktas he's been at. Very well known in the German game. Probably well known at Liverpool for those howlers that he made in the Champions League final. But we won't go too much into that because we're hoping he's going to turn around his career and his club's fortunes. Thomas Callas is another one that you might recognise. Former Chelsea player. He was a former Chelsea player. Yeah, good pedigree. 32 years old, not sure how much game time he's going to get, and he's out for 3 months as well, so hopefully he gets back pretty quick. Nikola Katic, formerly of Rangers, I believe. Yep, Rangers. Good centre-back, to be fair to him. Right-footed. I like this lad. I think that he is going to be a very, very good player for us. Who else have we got? The likes of Ron Schallenberg. But Ron Schallenberg looks like he's going to be, again, a very, very handy player for us. We also have a Højlund. This is Emil Højlund. I believe he is the brother of Rasmus Højlund of Man United fame. Let me know in the comments if I've got that wrong. But he looks like a good young player. One of the other reasons we decided to go with Schalke is they've got no money. They've got nothing in the pot. And they're £40 million in debt. So I normally say, at this point, let's make some transfers, and I'll see you at the start of the first season. But I don't think we're going to be making many transfers to get this kicked off. So here we are on the eve of the first game of season 1 with Schalke, and I don't think you needed a crystal ball to work out that I'm not making many transfers with the club in the financial situation. No players have come in. You can see we've got no real transfers lined up. I don't know what this is. I don't know who this is. It looks like he's coming from Schalke's under 19s he's coming from, so that's just a pre-arranged transfer. But we have had to sell some players, and I use the term had to sell players because not long into me sort of having a little look around the club and having a little look around the transfer window, I got a message to say that we're in trouble and we need to accept any reasonable offer. So all of these were taken out of my hands. This lad here, Matriciani, went to Rostock. We lost Walentovitz to Braunschweig. He actually looks like a half-decent 17-year-old right-back, so he could have been one for the future. Brian Lasme went to Werder Bremen. This one hurt me a little bit because I looked at him as a player that I thought will probably play a bit of football for us. He's very, very quick, and he's got decent finishing. So yeah, he has gone to Werder Bremen for 750 grand, and we lost Justin Hickeren, a backup goalkeeper really, to Hertha, who I believe, yeah, they are in our division as well. So all in all, we brought in £1.3 million, but as you can see, we are bankrupt here. We are absolutely bankrupt. I've just noticed we've got a 62,000 seater stadium. That's pretty impressive. We have got literally no money. We brought in £1 million and it hasn't really scratched the surface of that debt. So I don't know how this is going to go, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if we will last for 5 years. I don't know if we'll get any success with this club. But all we can do is now hand it over to the hands of our assistant manager as we simulate the first season. And I'll see you at the end of season 1. Okay, end of season 1. It's gone pretty well, considering we were favourites for relegation and couldn't bring in any players. We have finished on 60 points in 5th spot, which was only 1 point away from getting us into that playoffs. One thing I didn't sort of say right at the start is what my goals are with Schalke, and the first one has to be to get back into the Bundesliga, back into that top tier of German football. And then after that, I would say probably win some silverware and maybe get into Europe in 5 seasons. I think that's a fairly realistic achievement. So we've missed out this season on promotion. We're a point outside the playoffs. How do we get on in the cups? Not well. We lost in the cups. We lost to Osnabrück in the first round of the German Cup. So we went out of the first hurdle. It allowed us maybe to concentrate on the league a little bit. And yeah, that's kind of where we've ended up. In terms of stats, outstanding performances, Musa Sila, 26-year-old Malian international, very quick and can finish, fairly strong as well. So he is obviously a standout performer for us. 14 goals in 30. Keenan Karaman getting 10 in 32, and then we're into the single figures, guys. But yeah, he looks half decent, getting on a little bit. So we probably need to, if we get promoted, look at maybe moving on some of these older players that we've got in the squad. You'll see that Ron Schallenberg does have a transfer lined up. He is going to be leaving the club and he is going to Leeds. And it's fairly annoying because it was a schoolboy error by me. I didn't look at the contracts of the players, and we are losing Ron Schallenberg for free because I didn't renew his contract, basically. Silly me, slap on the wrist, and we will move on. We did manage to get a player in on loan. David Mokwa joined. He joined us on loan from Hoffenheim in the first division. Didn't play a lot, scored 3 goals. Kind of just was a bit of a backup option for us. In terms of assists, everybody in single figures. Max Gruger, 20-year-old midfielder. He looks quite tasty, to be fair to him. He got himself 6 assists in 9 games. Good average rating as well. Caraman we've already seen. Sully we've already seen. And there's nobody else really that stands out there. In terms of transfers then, I did mention that we were kind of under a bit of an embargo, really, where we didn't have any money to spend. And the players did keep leaving. We did lose Anton Donkor. He went to Darmstadt for 180k, and that was one of those deals where the board had just taken the wheel, really. We are going to be losing a few on free transfers as well. We mentioned Schallenberg. Hamach is going to be leaving as well. He is actually out on loan, so no skin off my nose, really. All these players are leaving on a free. Faris Yusufu, he is going to be leaving to Schweinfurt. Ibrahim Assise going to Hull, and Kayan Simon, he is going to be joining the first team squad from the under-19s. It looks half decent for a fullback, doesn't he? So yeah, that is kind of where we are at. We have had one development that I've seen, and that is all of a sudden we've got money. Last time you saw me, we was 40 million in the hole, and at the end of the season, we are 10 million in the good. We've got 10 million in the balance and 13 million, just under 14 million to spend on transfers. I don't really know where this has come from. We can do a bit of investigating here. I mean, investments. We were bought out. That's handy. That's very handy for us. So someone bought us out and pumped in 48 million into the club, cleared the debts. Probably a good thing because we were bankrupt, and it does give us a little bit of autonomy over whether or not we can accept offers for players or not. So that is encouraging. It's a decent first season. We were tipped for relegation. If you offered me 5th at the start of the season, I probably would have snapped your hand off. So yeah, it's all good going into season 2. We're going to spend some of that 13 million. Trust me on that. And let's bring you back in when we've done those transfers. Oh, one thing I should say, if you watch the Roma video, you'll be familiar with beard ball. Beard ball, diamond. We're playing that sort of 4-4-2 narrow diamond. Attacking, short, hard tackling, pressing, yes, offside, trap, yes. It worked quite well for me with Roma. It got us some good immediate success. That's how we're going to start this, and you'll see how that develops as the video goes on. Right, we are ready to start season 2, viewers, and we'll start with players going out. You knew about these guys; they were all guys that were just leaving on frees, but we did also manage to sell Vitali Becker, who is a left back. Played 28 times for us, but Leeds came in with 2.8 million, and I thought, you know, we could probably get better than Becker for our money. So that is all the players that have gone out. 2.8 million pounds coming in. We spent 7 million pounds. We signed Noah Katabach, who is a replacement left back and probably a better player than Becker, who went to Leeds. We got him for 1.7 million pounds from Hoffenheim. We signed Czech midfielder Alex Krau, who just looks like a very, very solid midfielder, especially for this level. He came in from Union Berlin on a free. We signed Budu Vivzivadze. We'll just call him Budu. Budu came in from Heidenheim, who were in the first division last year, I believe. He scored 3 goals in the league for him. Nothing spectacular, but he looks half decent, doesn't he? He is getting on a bit. There's a little bit of experience. He's still got some pace. He can finish. He can head a ball. He might do something for us this year. Backup defender, really. Alexander Prass has joined Austrian International. Looks fairly solid, to be fair. He can play on the wings as well if we decide to move away from the diamond, which we're not going to do for this season. But he's got the tackling. He's got the marking. He's decent going forward. I think he's a pretty good player. For 3.6 million pounds, he comes in. And then you can see the theme here. We are trying to bulk out that defence. Jan Elvedi has come in, a Swiss international, decent centre back. Bought him in from Kaiserslautern for under £1 million, 600 grand. That takes it to £7 million in total. That's the squad. We've bulked it out. We've now got lots and lots of defenders. We look pretty good going forward. I'm hoping Sila can have another good season. We bought in a loan as well. The loan we bought in was Adrian Kaprilic. He is coming on loan from Kiel, Holstein Kiel. He is Slovakian. He's got 2 goals in 6 games for them. He's just an attacking option, really. Can play in the 10, can play up front. He could be a versatile player for us. But that is all the business that we need to make you guys aware of. Let's see how we get on in season 2. Well, first objective of the 5-year plan complete, and that is getting back into the Bundesliga. We won the league in our second season. We scored 70 points. Karlsruhe came behind us on 65, Hamburg on 64. They've got to play in a playoff against each other. We don't care about that because we are back in the big time. How did we do? Oh, we got through to a German Cup semi-final. Let's have a little look at this run. Zwickau were our first victims, a 3-0 win against them in the first round. Sandhausen in the second round, 3-0 win against them. Hoffenheim, who finished 5th in the Bundesliga, our lad. We knocked them out in the third round, 1-0, and then we were straight into the semi-finals. Hamburg, who finished 3rd, and I've got to play that playoff. We beat them 3-2 in the quarterfinals, and then Frankfurt just about had too much for us in the semi-final, not the second leg. And yeah, Frankfurt have scored twice in the first half. We scored through Sila in the 52nd minute, but it was all too little too late. And that's a shame. Who went on to win that? Do we know? Have that been played yet? It hasn't, but they're playing Stuttgart. So tough game for them. But yeah, it's gone pretty well this second season. Kind of how I expected it to. Again, we'll have a little look at the stats here. Goals scored, Sila with 20. Yannick Bachmann, who is a defensive midfielder, has scored 10 for us. Christian Gomis has scored 10 also. He's another striker. Fairly decent looking striker. Pace pace and strength seem to be his main attributes. Keenan Karaman is up there as well with 9, and then we're into the double figures, guys. But Alex Crow looks like he's had a very, very good first season for us. 6.89 average rating from him. Katabach took on the mantle as our starting left back from Becker and had a good season. 4 assists and a 7.39 average rating. That was 4 assists in the league, 6 overall. In terms of those average ratings, Janilo Elvedi, he only played 2 games for us, which I'm quite surprised at, because I thought he was an improvement on our centre-backs. And I mean, the average rating shows he probably was an improvement on our centre-backs, him scoring an 8. But Alex Crow is up there. He's the highest scoring of our sort of regulars. Who else have we got in there? Where are the other new boys? Did they play? Boudou got 2 goals in 11, decent average rating. I didn't think he was going to play too much. Alexander Prash only started 2 games, 16 off the bench. Yeah, okay. The lad that we got on loan didn't do anything. He didn't play. That was a bit of a waste of a loan. But doesn't matter. We got ourselves back up into the Bundesliga. It's a big transfer window ahead. I better get into it and get stuck in. Right, so here we are at the start of season 3, our first season back in the Bundesliga. Transfer-wise, we'll do the players in just because we've got them up in front of us. We have spent 7.5 million. Jamie Lawrence was the first man to come in, a German-Nigerian centre-back from Stuttgart, I believe. Good heading, good marking, decent pace. He can tackle, he's strong. Just a good improvement. Hadn't really played at all for Stuttgart. So we bought him in for £2.2 million. Fraser Hornby came in from Bayern Munich. Hasn't really featured too much. Scored 5 in 15 last season. Not too bad. He was at Darmstadt before that and scored 12 in 31. And he is a Scottish international. He's a pacey striker. Can use either foot. Should be a good addition, I think. Louis Barry came in from Aston Villa, a bit of a old FM favourite for people, former wonder kid. He looks like he's got it all. 24 years old, he looks like he's got it all. Hasn't really broken into that Villa first team, so he was up for sale at 3.2 million. We snapped their hand off. He can finish. He's quick. He's not as strong, but he's going to work really hard. He's got good technique and great stamina, so I can just see him just running all day, using that pace, and hopefully getting him behind and using that finishing. And then our final transfer was Manuel Neuer, 41 years old. He was available on a free. He's come in as a coach as well, so he's a bit of a player coach role. I don't think it's a bad signing, is it? Manuel Neuer, he's probably an improvement on our goalkeeper, even at the age of 41. Transfers out. So we brought in £2.6 million. The ones really of note, Timo Becker left for Dresden. He was a centre-back, a right-back. Didn't really feature too much for us, so that's why we have let him go. Tidiane Toure left for 450 grand to Duisburg. 600 grand was spent by Bochum on Keenan Karaman. Remember him? He did quite well for us in the first couple of seasons. He was putting up some decent numbers, but I just felt like he's getting older. We were bringing in some fresh blood, and we just needed to revitalise this squad ahead of the season in the Bundesliga. And then we also had Mauro Zalazar, who again didn't really play for us at all. Central midfielder. He's gone to Regensburg for £375,000. So there we go. That is what we're looking like. We are sticking with our diamond. I think this is going to be a tough season. Really do think this is going to be a tough season. I'm hoping that we've got enough to avoid relegation, because I think that would be it'd be a real kick in the nuts, really, wouldn't it, if we finally get ourselves up and in the first season go back down, and in the fourth season we've got to try and get back up again. It kind of would ruin the success element of this rebuild, I'd say. So let's see how we get on in season 3. Season 3 is done. It's in the can, and we have stayed up. 5 points clear of Hanover in 16th place. To be fair, we never looked in danger of being in the relegation zone. We were kind of up and down a little bit throughout the season, but we just kind of stayed around that maybe lower mid-table range, which, to be fair, as long as we stayed up, I'm happy with. I was pretty nervous about this season and how we would get on. We have conceded more goals than we scored, which is worrying considering how much I've spent on the defence. But as you can see, the players have done well. They've reacted fairly well to their first season in the Bundesliga. We've only got one player in double figures for goals. That was Fraser Hornby, who got 11 in the league in 24 starts, which isn't too bad. Assists-wise, it's all fairly low as well. Everybody in single figures. Alex Crow looks like he had a good season again for us. Maximovic, who we brought in on loan from RB Leipzig, he did okay for us as well. 6 assists, 2 goals and 16. So all in all, fairly comfortable in the league, I would say. Especially in a season that I was really, really worried, because if we did go down, I think that would have been the end of it, really. The end of this rebuild. We only made it through to the German Cup second round. There was no cup run repeats for this season. And we, to be fair, we were drawn against Bayern Munich. That's probably the one club you don't want to be drawn against in the second round. And they battered us. Harry Kane got a hat-trick, Kimmich got one, and they beat us 4-0 soundly on the day. So yeah, I think that now we are coming up to season 4 now. We've got 2 seasons to make a mark on the Bundesliga. And I really think that we've got a platform to do that now. We've got a half decent squad. If we can improve on that, I think we could be challenging for Europe by the end of season 5. But let's do some transfers and let's get stuck into season 4. So season 4, we have raised £6 million in the transfer market. Luka Podolak went to Darmstadt for 550 grand. Finn Poraf, who didn't really play, went to Cottbus for 325 grand. Alexander Prass, who you might remember we signed for £3.6 million a couple of seasons ago, hasn't really featured, played even less last season, so we let him go to Leverkusen for £1.8 million. I'm surprised he wasn't used as much as he was, because he is a decent player for me. But it just didn't work out for him. Boudou went to München for 85 grand. Remember, we signed him for £1 million. He scored 31 goals for the reserves last season, but didn't make a single first team appearance, so we just got rid of him. Steve Nude went to Homburg for 70 grand, and Max Gruger went to Bochum for £3.2 million. He's probably the most notable player. Came through the academy, had a couple of decent seasons, to be fair to him. Didn't really look like he was up to the grade for the Bundesliga based on last season, so we decided to move him on. We raised £6 million, which meant that we could actually spend a bit of money. So £7.25 million was spent so far. The first player that came in was a player I'd never heard of, but he popped up when I was doing a bit of scouting, and I really like him. James McConnell. He's a defensive midfielder. He looks like a really good technical player, you'd say. 14 technique. He's got the passing, but he can tackle. He can move about. He's fairly strong. He never really broke into Liverpool's side. He made 12 appearances last season, 10 starts in the league, and a couple in the in Europe. But yeah, I was surprised that we were able to get hold of him for £2.8 million. But in he comes. Christoph Baumgartner also came in to strengthen our midfield. He came in from Leipzig. I like this guy a lot. He is getting towards the end of his career. He is 29, but he's a really good attacking midfield option for us. Loads and loads of experience, 71 caps for Austria. And he's played all right so far in this universe. He's been doing all right for Leipzig, playing a lot of games. So again, I was a little bit surprised that he was available, and for £4.5 million. We brought in Giovanni Reina. We were kind of tracking him last season from Mönchengladbach, but we weren't able to get him in. He was available on a free. So we've taken is it a gamble? I don't know if it is a gamble, because he started off at Dortmund, was on fire there, really. He was in the first team there. Then he kind of went to Forest, went back to Dortmund, and then he went to Gladbach, and it kind of stalled in his career a little bit. So maybe it is a bit of a gamble, but he's played 47 times for America at the age of 25. So he comes in. Angel Gomez is another international that has come into this midfield. You can kind of see where I'm looking at strengthening, really, can't you? Again, just a nice little technical player, I suppose. I don't expect him to be. He feels like a little bit of a luxury player, if I'm honest. And I don't know if this is the right time to have a luxury player in the squad. Um, but yeah, he kind of gives me a little bit of like Tarap vibes. Do you know what I mean? Like loads and loads of flair, but his work rate's 5. He's either footed. I feel like he's got moments of magic in him, which is why I bought him in. And our final signing so far, 35-year-old Alison Becker. He left Liverpool, went to Chelsea, was playing a lot for Chelsea, and they just let him come to us on a free, which is interesting considering he's already played once so far this season for Chelsea. But I feel like he could be a solid player. I think he is going to probably take the number one reins, and fingers crossed, have a good season with us. There is one bid we have got in for players, but we kind of run out before that first game. So we've made an offer for Christian Kafane from Leverkusen. He is a striker. He's not happy at Leverkusen. He's done okay. He scored 13 goals in the Bundesliga last season, which is more than what our lads could put together. But 22 years old, decent goal return in 33 games for Cameroon. Just looks like a good player, really, all round. So hopefully he does come in and hits the ground running. And I'm talking about him at the end of season 4 in the roundup. But that's where we're at. That's where we're at, people. Continuing with the diamond. And I think we're just going to have to get this underway and see how we get on in season 4. Okay, Schalke. Now we are talking. Stuttgart won the league, which is a bit of a shock. Is that the first time in a few years since Leverkusen that anybody but Bayern Munich has won this league? So bit of a shock in terms of the winner. And probably what is more of a shock is that Schalke, little old Schalke, I say little old Schalke, we're a big club. We come third. We have finished third. We finished ahead of Bayern Munich, Dortmund, Frankfurt. I knew this club had potential. I knew it. We finished on 63 points. We won 18, drew 9, and we lost 7. Goal difference is looking a lot more healthier than it was last season. We were a fair way behind Cologne, who finished in second, and they were a fair way behind Stuttgart. So fair play to Stuttgart, running away with the league there. How did we do in the cups? There was no cup final for us. What round did we get knocked out in? Third round to Karlsruhe, who finished 4th in the division below us. So we knocked out Cottbus, we knocked out Hertha, and then we lost 2-0 to Karlsruhe. But yeah, you can see we've had a pretty good season. Just out of interest, how long were we up there? Were we always up there? We kind of were always up there. You know, after week 10, the lowest we dropped was 6th. So we're in Europe next season as well. We are in Europe, which means that we'll have a little bit of European money to spend, no doubt. Let's have a... Oh, we're rich. That's why I wanted to check. We're rich, but that has just caught my eye. Facilities. Do you remember we were like 67,000? We are now 84, nearly 85,000 capacity stadium. I think what has saved this as a rebuild is that this guy here, Marcus Schaefer's come in and just pumped money in. He's made us rich. We've gone from bankrupt to rich, and he's improved this facility. Retractable roof and undersoil heating, lovely. He has turned us into a club that, you know, maybe could be challenging for some silverware next year in our final season of the rebuild. Who knows? The best performers that we had were Musa Seiler, 14 goals, 3 assists and 35. Baumgartner in his first season, 10 goals, 9 assists. And then we're back down to single figures. Single figures, spit it out. Fraser Hornby, 7 and 3 in terms of goals and assists. Yeah, James McConnell had a decent first season, 4 goals and 8 assists. Catterback was up there as well. Average rating wise, Angel Gomez. Now, I called him a bit of a luxury player. He scored 2 goals in 2 starts, 1 assist, 1 man of the match, 7.6 average rating. But he didn't. That was all he played. Why didn't he get played? Did he have an injury? Did he have an injury? Not really. Not really. 3 weeks out, and that was in February. He just didn't fancy him. I was fairly confident that this player could be a bit of a game changer for us, but just didn't play him. Alex Crowell up there again. What a good signing Alex Crowell has been, by the way. He's been there since the second season when we was in Division 2. And, I mean, for me, his average rating's going down. But he does seem to be getting better and better, considering that was a jump to the Bundesliga. And then he's improved again this season. He is 31. That's not going to last forever. Allison played 18 times in goal. So who was our main goalkeeper? Who was our main goalkeeper? So we've got Allison played 18 times. Neuer played twice. Who played in goal? No, it weren't him. This is a mystery. Who's our goalkeeper? Is he in the reserves? I don't know who played in goal. He's not a goalkeeper. Hoyland isn't a goalkeeper. Mystery. We only used a recognised goalkeeper in 20 games. I don't know. I don't know. That really is a mystery to me. But there we go. So yeah, I don't want to get too excited, but end of season 4 is looking very good. Another solid window. Could we? If Bayern Munich have another season like they have done this year, could we? I don't know. So just to confirm, for season 5, we are playing in the Champions League. We're having to play through the qualifying phases, but we have got a team from Slovenia, Koper. So I'm hoping that we can get past them and get ourselves into that group stage. Let's have a look at our final round of transfers. We've gone for it a little bit. Kind of got very excited about us finishing third last season and us playing in Europe. So I wanted to have a real go, and we have made, or we've brought in £33 million worth of players. First one that came in was left back Pervis Stupinan. You might remember him from Brighton, 31 years old, very, very good. Very, very good. Good going forward, good defensively. He came in from Napoli, where didn't really play much last season, so we swooped in and picked him up. He was at Milan at the start of the save as well, spent a lot of time in Italy before coming over to Germany, and he is definitely going to be our starting left back. Gabriel Jesus, at 32 years old, has also come into the club. He came in for £1.9 million after scoring 22 times in the Premier League in 37 games last season. I don't know why they've let him go. We will take him in gratefully. We went back to the Premier League and signed Ben White. Ben White from Newcastle. Only 31 years old at this stage in the save. He looks fantastic at centre back. He looks great playing at right back as well, with the acceleration and the crossing. I think he could be a very, very key man for us. We then went to Leverkusen and we signed attacking midfielder Elise Ben Seguir. 24-year-old Moroccan, looks very, very handy. Got 10 assists in each of his last 2 seasons for Leverkusen. Why not? Why not? Give him a go. I kind of feel like he could play up front as well if we needed him to. We'll see where the assistant wants to play him. We then went back to raid the Premier League and we brought in 27-year-old Jared Branthwaite from Everton, and he's very, very highly rated in real life. He is still young in real life, so I thought, why not? Why not get him in? He's going to be an improvement on our centre backs again, and he's an England international. He well, I was going to say he's only played 1 game. That is a 1 game for Everton so far this season before we signed him, and he did well. But yeah, solid seasons. He's played a lot of football for Everton, so I think he could be a key man for us. And then last but not least, we signed Sehu Girassi, who is a Ghanaian striker. And I mean, he's 33 years old, but he's still got all of his strength, all of his stamina. Work rate's good, technique's great, the pace is there, the finishing's there. He can dribble, he can head a ball as well. What can this guy not do? Again, scored a lot of goals, scored 17 and 16. 17 in 16, I'll say it again, in the Premier League for City last season. The season before that, he got 18 and 21. Why they've let him go on a free, I don't know, but we have snapped him up. In terms of players that are leaving, we only got rid of one. We're just trying to bulk that squad up for Europe. Aris Bayindia left on a free, and we don't have any current bids in that might sort of sneak in over the line without you guys seeing before the end of the season. So that's the squad. That is the squad that is going to be competing in the Bundesliga and in the Champions League. The final season of this rebuild, of the 5-year plan, I think this could be quite promising. I am very, very happy with this. We finished in second place in our final season of the rebuild. We've just been going up and up and up. Finished third last season, second this year. Bayern didn't have a season like they did last season, which I kind of expected them to bounce back from. But we're only 6 points off of Bayern Munich. We're one of the top goal scorers in the league. We lost probably a few too many games here, really. We didn't draw many. If we turned some of those defeats into draws, then maybe it would have been a different story. But we are ending with no league titles at Schalke. In the Bundesliga, we did win the second division, but I think we're definitely leaving them in a better position than what we picked them up with, which is the main aim of this series. Did we go anywhere in the cup? Doesn't look like it, and it doesn't look like we made it out of the second group phase. We didn't. We were drawn against Sporting, Barca and PSV in the second group phase. And I tell you what, we gave a good account of ourselves in Europe. We lost 2 games out of the 6, 1-2, draw 2, finished on 8 points. Just one more win would have seen us potentially getting through. If we'd beaten Barcelona, we would have seen us getting potentially through, and we drew with them on the last game, 1 goal away. 1 goal was all that was in it from getting into the knockout rounds of the Champions League. I'll take that. We got to the quarterfinal of the German Cup. We lost to Stuttgart. Did we knock anybody else out? We knocked out Kaiserslautern. We knocked out Holstein Kiel. And we knocked out Hull. So, yeah, no real scalps there. But we did make it through to a quarterfinal where we were beaten 2-0 by Stuttgart. So the final rebuild of the season, and so the final squad for this Schalke rebuild, Girassi turned out to be a very, very good signing on a free. 26 goals, 21 of them coming in the league. Fair play to him. Gabriel Jesus, who's retiring at the end of the season. He's only 33. He's retiring. He played 40 games. He scored 19 goals, 13 in the league. Like that a lot. And Ben Seguir, 12 goals and 12 assists. Had a very, very good season. So this transfer window, you could tell that we have really stepped it up. James McConnell did really well as well. 8 goals, 9 assists. Baumgartner, 8 goals, 7 assists. Stupinen got 7 assists as well. So I'm really happy. I'm really, really happy with how we are leaving this. It would have been nice to win some silverware, maybe a German Cup. The first we got in that was the semi-finals. We probably, if we went up first season, I'm going to throw it out there. If we went up there first season and we still had another season of play after this, I think we would be finishing off with some silverware. But it's just not to be. There we go, viewers. The 5-year plan with Schalke is complete. Let me know in the comments. How do you think I did? I'm pretty happy with where we took Schalke in 5 years' time. Getting that big investment really did help us along the way. There's no doubt in that. But we still took a side from the second division, got them promoted, got them into Europe, and challenging for titles in the future, hopefully. I don't know. I think it was a success. If you have enjoyed it, please do give us a like. Please do give us a subscribe. And until I see you again, take care.